Well, speaking of something that apparently needs renovated, this long delayed, fictitious, mythological AEW video game, we've been talking about it.
Fight Forever.
The latest Fight Forever. Take Forever, apparently, is the. And we've talked about that lately, and the last thing we heard was that they were fighting over the rating. The rating was, they were going to give it an adult rating because there was so much blood. And I started thinking, before, I know you've got some updated information there, but here's the thing. It's a fucking video game. Not only is it not real blood, it's not real people. How can it be? How can they put a rating on it where you have to be the same age to play this video game as you do to enlist in the United States Army it's a video game. I'm thinking of Super Mario. He's hopping around. He's got the pizza or whatever. Somebody dings him with a hammer. He's bleeding from the fucking head. Is that going to be offensive? Or with Frogger? Frogger's hopping across the road and the car runs over, splat, and there's a pool of blood. Is someone going to be traumatized by that?
If Frogger took out an AK-47 and started shooting the people in the cars, and then took one of the cars, turned on his favorite radio station, and just started driving fast and shooting as he's going, that may require a rating.
Yeah, but if Super Mario's one of the people and he pulls him out of the clown car, it's a video game.
If Super Mario has a knife and he cuts Frogger's throat...
Yeah, it's a frog.
That may require a rating, just so a parent is aware that there is...
violence against frogs?
Plumber on frog violence.
Was Mario a plumber? I thought he was a pizza maker.
He was a plumber. Him and his brother, the Mario brothers, they were plumbers. They were fucking around with the pipes, and they had a lot of problems, and...
Oh, well, you know why? I thought Super Mario was a pizza guy because of Super Mario in West Virginia. Jimmy Valiant's friend, the little fat guy that owned the pizza restaurant, they broke him in as Super Mario because he gave them all free food at his restaurant if they let him wrestle. And he was so fucking short and rotund that when his finish was a big splash, but he'd just kind of fall forward and his belly stuck so far out, he'd roll all the way across the guy to where he was on his face with his feet straight up in the air. But he had a great restaurant up there, Bluefield, West Virginia.
What do you think of Lou Albano as Super Mario?
This guy looked more like Mario than Albano did because he literally was fucking 5 feet tall and completely round with short little arms. But he had a great restaurant up there from what I hear. Anyway, it's a fucking video game. It's not, I guess they've improved them lately. I guess the human beings look a little bit better, more like human beings than Mario did, don't they, now these days?
I guess, but again, the AEW video game, there's been, I think we could safely say, various holdups, and one of them has been reported to be the ratings issue, and it is now taken care of. It is now resolved.
Well, now, what rating did they get? They get the rating did they get 7 stars because it was in the Tokyo Dome from Uncle Dave, or what is the rating they got, and what were they wanting?
Do you think they let you use the Tokyo Dome in the game? Well, you'd have to get the rights from the Tokyo Dome owners to do that.
Well, you could just say we're here in a dome in Tokyo.
This was rated T for teen, ESRB. ESRB is the Entertainment Software Rating Board. They rated it T for teen with blood, language, mild suggestive themes, use of alcohol and tobacco, violence.
Okay, I guess use of alcohol do they have their equivalent of Steve Austin celebrating with a beer afterwards? They can't do it with Plumber Moxley now. Who's drinking on the show? Or on the game? On the show. Who would be drinking on this game? Page isn't a drunk anymore. He's just an empty-headed dipshit. But he doesn't drink anymore, so who's... they cut that angle out about the time that one of their wrestlers actually had to go to rehab. So maybe that was a good thing, but who would be drinking now?
Well, it says use of alcohol, not drinking of alcohol. It could be just the throwing of alcohol.
The throwing of...
a cup of beer. You throw a cup of beer.
It somehow has an impact on the ratings?
Well, we have a rating summary. We have a summary of the rating.
Summarize the summary for me.
Once again, this is AEW Fight Forever as rated by the ESRB, the Entertainment Software Rating Board. Rating summary. This is a wrestling game in which players compete in matches with wrestlers from the AEW roster. Players use punches, kicks, and grappling maneuvers to drain their opponent's health. In some
to drain their opponent's health?
Well, to be fair, if you're playing a game and there's a health bar for each character, you want to drain the health bar to have your opponent in a state.
What are you, Dr. fucking Kevorkian? You want to drain the health bar? That is the weirdest goddamn terminology that I've. So you're not trying to defeat your opponent in a game of skill. You're literally trying to sap his life source and essence away from him and kill him.
No, it's not like that, but you can't just pin. Let's say you're John Moxley and I'm Bryan Danielson. You can't just pin me in.
Wait a minute, hold on. How did we get those fucking...
Okay.
Flip that around a little bit?
I'll fix it. Let's say you're John Moxley and I'm CM Punk. There's no way you would just pin me in the first 5 seconds. You would have to beat me, you'd have to bloody me, you'd have to take me out of the ring and do all your shit. My health bar would be at full health. You have to get it lower and lower and lower.
Diminish it
to have me in a state where you could defeat me one way or the other.
Well, then shouldn't it be your energy bar instead of your health bar?
Well, you could call
because
it that.
I'm fucking beating you up till you can't get up and fight anymore. I'm not giving you goddamn terminal cancer.
Well, let me continue. We haven't even gotten too far into this.
All right, well, we've gotten far enough, but go ahead.
In some match types, like barbed wire, stadium stampede, and unsanctioned, players can use barbed wire, baseball bats, metal chairs, and Molotov cocktails.
What?
Against the opponent.
Wait, hold on. Molotov cocktail.
What match is that?
How do you introduce that? Do you pull it out of your tights? Do you go under the ring and come out with a Molotov cocktail and light it with a flamethrower? Why haven't they done this on television? If they're going to be selling it in the video game, they've got Molotov cocktails in their fucking video game, is what you're telling me.
What happens is if you're really good, you unlock something where a friend of yours from Brighton Beach shows up and drives by and just hands you the Molotov cocktail and then you do your business. I can't explain that. But once again, barbed wire, baseball bats, metal chairs, Molotov cocktails against opponents, eventually resulting in submission and or knockouts. Blood splatter effects can occur during matches.
Blood splatter effects? Now what is this, the goddamn Dr. Sam Shepard case being revisited? They have to have blood splatter.
Well, blood splatter effects can occur during matches, staining the mats. Video footage of real matches also depicts blood on wrestlers' faces and bodies. The game contains some mildly suggestive material. Female wrestlers in revealing
How can that be? Nobody in that company ever gets laid. How can it be suggestive?
The game contains some mildly suggestive material. Female wrestlers in revealing outfits like deep cleavage, bunny outfits.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Hold on. Stop. Pump the brakes again. That's their next female superstar. Here she comes to challenge Jane Cargill. Deep cleavage.
That's the sign Russo's back. As soon as that shows up on TV, deep cleavage.
Well, they've got it right there on their game.
Well, here it is, revealing outfits, deep cleavage, bunny outfits, partially exposed buttocks. Which has to be every woman on the roster at this point. Wrestlers performing taunting gestures like crotch chop and slapping buttocks. Real footage sometimes depicts wrestlers drinking alcohol and smoking. Oh, that's interesting. The word shit is heard in the game.
The word shit is heard about the game too, apparently.
So there's real footage of wrestlers drinking and smoking. What the fuck is that?
What are they smoking?
So does this interest you? The idea you could play a wrestling game and, at the end throw a Molotov cocktail and then slap someone's buttocks? Whatever the fuck is going on here.
Only if I get to drink afterwards.
While smoking, yes.
Well, I mean...
And yelling shit.
The game doesn't interest me if it looks anything like 90% of the roster, which is what I'm afraid it's going to look like. And And since we know who was in charge of the game, we know who's going to be heavily featured in the game. It's going to be, and actually it should be, because all of the people that the Buckaroos and old Twink appeal to and their style of wrestling are all the people that are sitting around playing video games with their joysticks in their hands.
You know what? In this case, I'm going to separate the Bucks from Omega, because I said a while back Omega's going to be the first one of the EVPs, the next EVP, I guess I should say, to be out the door. That's still my thought. If this game bombs, I think he's going to have a nervous fucking breakdown. I'm not even like joking or anything. I think if game bombs, fella. Yeah. He's going to have a nervous fucking breakdown.
Because they've taken this Joker that's, best noted for fucking his physical exploits with sex dolls and put him in charge of something they've spent tens of millions of dollars on. What could possibly go wrong? That's like, giving Boeing over to a fucking frequent flyer. Oh, he's flown with us 1 million miles. Let's let him run the company and build the planes. Just because you've been a video game nerd all your life doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be able to fucking convert that into knowledge of how to build one the right way or the most financially feasible or conservative way or on a timely basis. Go ahead.
Do you think a Molotov cocktail is a finish?
I don't. Maybe that's that's what they're drinking. Maybe they've got
really.
Maybe they've got it fucked up on the review, and they're not throwing the Molotov cocktails. They've got the Miro, the Bulgarian brute, is drinking a Molotov. That's where the drinking comes in.
Maybe that's where the smoking comes in too.
Yeah, because he's his fucking smoking hot wife that he's got.
That wasn't what I meant, but okay. Hey Jim, we can return to this in a second, but I wanted to play you this. Talking about Captain Lou Albano as Super Mario. Here's a PSA from Captain Lou Albano. Just say no to drugs. As Super Mario.
I'm Captain Lou Albano talking to you about drugs. Kids, don't be afraid to say no. Anyone that asks you to use drugs is not your friend. Drugs can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers, because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
There you go. If you do drugs, you go to hell.
Wait, before you die.
Before you die.
Now, that's extra punishment. I always heard the fucking order of events was you die and you go to hell, but they're going to send you to hell before they even kill you. And the irony of Captain Lou was...
He didn't say anything about vodka. He didn't say, don't drink vodka.
Aye. Or Vince will fire you.
So this video game, I guess we're one step closer to it actually emerging, finally.
One step closer to Fight Forever coming out of its hole and seeing its shadow. And then we're going to have 6 more months of preparation and development.